Well, he certainly needs to deal with this. Let's begin. Well, of course, it seems that we've finally got our 2 weeks of summer, so a lot of people out there are going to be sweating more than, I don't know, someone like whoever was walking past the school. So that being the case, they're more than likely going to want to go on holiday. But where? Maybe the seaside, eh? Unfortunately, though, because of something that they're apparently trying to keep quiet, that might not be such a good idea. And I say that because according to this article, it says that Labour have been accused of avoiding the subject on Tuesday night's shocking machete brawl in Southend in order to protect London Mayor Sadiq Khan from the impact of negative publicity about knife crime in the capital, which, I'm not being funny, but, you know, if he had taken more of a hardline response than what I'm guessing he's doing already, then surely knife crime wouldn't be an issue, would it? Quite often it seems there are unnecessary barriers to prevent standard stop and search, which would, of course, no doubtly uncover a load of knives. Or maybe one or two other weapons, which more than likely aren't being picked up at the minute, eh? David Nelson, though, he was speaking after horrifying footage showed masked men attacking each other with massive blades at the resort's famous seafront, and the Tory councillor admitted he and his residents were fearful of repetition this weekend. But of course, don't worry, because 8 people were apparently arrested in connection with disorder and possessing offensive weapons on Tuesday, and were yesterday further arrested on suspicion of a violent disorder. But hang on a minute, Southend-on-Sea is a little bit away from London as far as I'm aware, so how could it protect Sadiq Khan, eh? Well, apparently Mr. Nelson, who sits on Southend-on-Sea City Council, told Express.uk, shameless plug for you there, it seems that there was a TikTok party which I think between 300 to 400 young Londoners decided that they were going to attend, and many of these were clearly part of a gang culture that we are seeing in the London area, and decided that it was easier to jump on the train to travel to Southend for a day trip than anything else. So it does seem, doesn't it, that many of these may have left their home in London, got on the tube, and then maybe from there onto a train to Southend-on-Sea purely to cause a load of trouble. And I just can't help but think that perhaps if tube stations actually had metal detectors or whatever else as you go through the barriers, then something like knives might actually be picked up. A lot more better than what we're able to do at the moment, eh? And no doubtly the impact of this could have affected more than those involved. I mean, just imagine if you actually on holiday there, and taking your children to the beach or whatever, and they would have seen all this. So it just doesn't bear thinking about, does it? And the government really does need to help stamp this out as quickly as possible. It even says here, look, our Labour MPs were nowhere to be seen in the time that there was panic and chaos. The most our Labour MP did, that I could see, was just retweet the leader of the council, and the leader of the council's response to violent crimes happening on our streets was, everyone calm down. I mean, it's just absolutely outrageous, isn't it? He continues and say they should be picking up the phone to Yvette Cooper and saying, I know what's happening in Southport, but we also have huge issues in Southend. And my view, he says, is very simple. I think this is because the Labour Party wants to protect Sadiq Khan. And if that is indeed true, then that is absolutely shocking, and there is no excuse for it. They know full well, he says, that Sadiq Khan is failing miserably to deal with the huge swathes of basically no-go areas in London and getting to grips with the crime epidemic that's happening in London, which is now spilling over cities like Southend. And therefore, of course, there's always the risk, isn't there, that if more isn't done to prevent this, then it will continue to spill out into more areas. All from the source, maybe, of the capital city's problem with weapons, which Sadiq Khan now surely has been given a massive kick up the bum to actually do something about. Maybe, who knows, we might actually get those metal detectors or something like that installed in tube stations, though, to be honest, I wouldn't hold my breath.